Happy Friday, ladies. I'm your host, Mysterious Jax. Welcome to another episode of a Ladies Night Radio Show. We are coming to you live from the Good News Studio tonight and every Wednesday and Friday night at 7:30 for the whole month of August. That's right. You're getting double the pleasure, double the fun with the ladies. Well, I'm excited. One, Miss Crazy Maria is still not back. I know you guys miss her. You love her. We miss you. We hope you're driving safe back to LA. And of course I miss you because now I have to do the board and go live. Like, it's ridiculous. It's really hard. So I love you and I hope you're back soon. Speaking of that, of course, I still have my girl, Goddess Lore, in the building. What's up, Goddess Lore?
What's good, y'all? It's Friday. Y'all ready for this? I don't think you're ready. What do y'all? I don't know. Y'all ready? You ready?
I'm
hope
ready. So. Ooh, I hope so. I had to clear my throat. I was like, what is going on with my throat? It's all good. You having a good week? Well, we're going to go about that because you came in a little stressed out. Your energy was a little off. But you know what? I feel like you're slowly coming back to us.
Yeah. We're ready for some really good dialogue.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
for sure.
it.
Definitely. I'm excited for tonight's show. I'm so excited. Well, since Crazy Maria's not here, I do have a... there it goes again, my voice. I don't know what's going on. My guest co-host of the day, of the night, the one and only, the infamous Mr. Michael the PG.
Yo, what's the deal? Are you nervous, Jackie? What's going on?
I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the AC. This came out of nowhere. I just started drinking this cold drink, the AC. I was like, what is going on?
I know when I'm around, people get nervous, but take it easy.
I don't know what it is, but I got something in my throat. I was like, what is this? I couldn't even talk when we first started. I was like, oh, God.
That's just but you got something to say.
I got something to say, or it won't let me say it. I don't know what that is. I was like, is it the AC?
Take a shot of that water. You'll be all right.
This ain't water, honey.
Oh, yeah.
It's Friday.
Take it easy.
It's Friday and ladies' night. We're not drinking water. I mean, I got some water, but it ain't water in here. You know how we do it on ladies' night. It's been a long week. Don't judge us, okay? And of course, we have a special guest. I'm so excited for this guest. I'm also like nervous about today's topics, but this guest actually brought it to my attention, and I feel like I haven't even talked about it on Ladies Night, and we're already about to hit 100th episode. So I'm really excited that we're finally going to be able to talk about this serious topic. And I'm excited that my guest, let's give her some love, Jeanie Cristine. What's up?
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm excited to be here, and thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about today's topic.
I'm excited too, Jeanie. I literally, like I told you, we usually have a lot of fun. We have serious conversations, but I don't think I've ever talked about abuse, domestic violence, or consent. I mean, I always promote consent when we talk about sex on here, but haven't actually made it a topic. And I think these are really important topics, especially for the ladies. And I think that I'm glad that you brought it to my attention, because I usually give the guest opportunity to whatever it is that they're passionate about, and this is something that she's passionate about. And actually, you have a podcast coming up. It's called Karma's Calling. And I love the title, by the way.
Thank you.
And when can we expect for you to launch this podcast?
So fall 2020, I'm hoping to have it by the end of August. So
Okay.
I already have a couple episodes lined up, but I want to make sure that I have it all aligned so that I can put it out all at once.
Yes.
Be
Okay.
ready. Follow her on Instagram.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Shout out your Instagram. Where can people follow you at?
At Jeanie Cristine with
Jeanie
2
Cristine.
E's.
Okay.
JeanieCristinee.
Okay. And just to get an idea, because I love the name Karma's Calling, what can people expect from your podcast?
So the reason I chose Karma's Calling is because domestic violence is something that is very shunned within society, especially amongst women. Women are taught to feel ashamed and feel as if it's something that they should feel guilty for. And I'm talking about, within my podcast, taking that pride back, taking that empowerment and using it for good. Stop making it feel like it was something that happened to you, and make it a decision for you to make it better for yourself.
Okay.
So you're choosing to be better.
I like that. Oh my God. I really can't wait for your podcast to launch. I think that, let's give her some love on that. I love it. Michael's doing his fingers over his finger snaps over here.
And let me tell you guys, if her podcast is as popping as her eyebrows, y'all better be ready for some shit.
I love it. Yes.
Brow lamination changed my life, honestly.
Really? Okay, you have to give me that information after the show. But definitely, I'm excited. So if you guys are just tuning in, we are going to be talking about a lot of great topics, but two of them for sure is teaching the importance of consent and many forms of abuse with the partner. So those are our two topics tonight, which we're going to be getting into in a little bit. But of course, we got to definitely start the show with, just a quick check-in. Michael, tell me how your week is going so far this week.
So far, so good, man. I'm still alive. So that's always A1. And I have this great show that comes on every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. TGN Sports. Courtside Radio, man, if you're not checking it out. There's got to be something wrong. Am I right? Like, if you're a sports fan, basketball fan,
and you're
not listening, you are slipping. So stop slipping and falling and stand up strong and listen to Courtside Radio, baby.
Yes, and I'm excited. And Michael's also the studio manager for the Sports Network. Like I said, we have two studios on the Good News Network, one of them being Radio Talk, which is I'm the manager of the studio, and then we have my boy over here, Michael, who is the manager of the Sports Studio.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
I just got a text message from my sister, and she's like, "Ooh, he sounds like a daddy."
Look at you. You're such a fan favorite over here.
I've been called that a few times.
The ladies love Michael. He's a sweetheart. I love it. He's awesome.
Funny.
But speaking of the good news, I just want to also make a quick announcement again as a reminder. The good news is currently still having a fundraiser for the growing network. As you may know, this fundraiser will help us improve our app, which we are currently working and we'll be launching real soon.
Yep.
And it's going to give our listeners such a better experience, as well as other improvements here in the studio. You'd be helping so many creators and up-and-coming radio personalities like myself and Michael. And we pride ourselves in the good news. The good news represents so much, and it's been life-changing for all of us. So when you support us, when you support the good news, you're supporting so much more. So we appreciate it. So if you're interested in donating, if it's just $1, you guys, less than a Starbucks drink, please go to our Instagram at The Good News Radio, and the link is in our bio. And I also, again, want to thank everybody who's already donated. We appreciate you guys. I've seen people donate from $25 to $200. Yep. And so even if it's just $5, $1, trust me, we are so grateful, because that means you believe in us, you believe in the network, and yeah, we love y'all.
Yeah, supporting good content.
Definitely. A really quick check-in. How's your week been so far, Jeanie?
It's been amazing. My family's safe and healthy. I'm safe and healthy, so that's a blessing. I am going to be working this fall, so that was a good news, because I had heard that for my school I wasn't going to be working, so I kind of got a little down on that.
Oh, no.
And I was looking for other ways that I could hustle. But now that I have that coming in and everything's coming together with my podcast, I'm really excited. I mean, I have my fall CSUN classes, so I'm ready.
I love it. Well, congratulations. That's a big deal. And what about you, Lore? How's your week going?
It's been like ups and downs. And downs. Y'all know, you heard me on Wednesday. I was feeling a little spicy. And I feel like even the topic is going to relate to what we're talking about today. And, today I'm feeling a little more introspective, a little more like inside of myself, kind of with my thoughts, with the topic. I guess I didn't realize how much it was going to affect me until I got in here and we started talking about it, and I was like, yo, like, why did it not hit me why I'm feeling like this? Because, I have people in my life who have experienced what we're going to talk about.
Well, now I love that. The clarity. Clarity. All right. Well, before we start our topic, we got to start off with some cheesemate tonight. So some good cheesemate for y'all. What's going on out there?
Hey. Get it.
Scandalous. That's what that word means. For you non-Spanish speakers.
Oh, I never knew what that meant. No,
You did it?
I did it. It just sound good.
We're teaching the vatos
We're
right
teaching
here.
the vatos. It's a Spanglish Latinx podcast. You know what I mean? Radio podcast. Okay, LA artists. If you are an artist in the city of LA, listen up. This is for you. A new City of LA program is providing emergency artist relief funds to artists that have been impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. So the payments are designed to help keep working artists and performers, particularly those who have had difficulty accessing traditional unemployment. So a lot of you guys who are like entrepreneurs or artists, they can get unemployment for some reason. So, or other relief funds due to the nature of their work, and support the creation of new public art for the city. So council member David Ryu, who is also one of the program's chief backers, said this work of writers, musicians, painters, and all artists help make Los Angeles the vibrant and dynamic city we love, which is so true if you've ever been to LA. We need to be supporting these artists and finding new ways to bring their creativity to the public, aka support the good news and go donate. Had to plug that in there. But you know, funds will be distributed in the form of one-time payment up to from $500 to $1,500, drawing from a pool of $340,000, and by the Department of Cultural Affairs. Professional artists of all types will be considered for the aid, from poets to painters to DJs, etc. So if you know any, make sure you guys let them know of this program. To qualify, they must demonstrate that the pandemic has caused direct financial hardship, and that the art that they are able to make using the money will in some way be made available to the general public. So shout out to the city of LA for that. That's awesome. Like, I don't know too many cities or state that are funding that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
It is, and we should be. We're a hub for that. Like, we're known for this shit, right? So, like,
take care of your own. That's what you're doing.
Exactly.
People come here from all over, so take care of these people who need help.
So if you know anybody that's a DJ, a poet, a painter, make sure.
DJ Dash.
Yeah, DJ Dash, for real. Tag them, let them know that there's a program out there for them to get some money, because a lot of them weren't able to get unemployment. All right, in other news, orange, lemons, limes, and potatoes. Oh, my. According to reports, new recall is in effect for some oranges, lemons, limes, and potatoes that have been linked to listeria. Although no one has become sick, thank God, Freehouse 2 recalled the fruits and veggies as an added precaution. So routine found traces of listeria and some of the food that came in contact with contaminated machines, such as pre-made pizza and Italian roasted salmon, has also been found at Wegmans. The affected brands, so look at the brands, include Freehouse, Nature's Promise, Fresh from the Start, and Wegmans brand. All these items came in 1, 2, 3, or 4 pound mesh bags. Will you be throwing any of your oranges, lemons, limes, or potatoes away in your house? That's the question of the night. What about you, Michael? Do you have any of these? You're going to go home and check the brands, I hope.
Yeah, I have potatoes, red potatoes, but oranges.
Look at the brands, though.
I know I need to now. Damn, I hope I didn't spend money on this. They better not be.
Damn, Momo, let us know. Costco carry any of those brands?
Yeah, in fact.
Right.
Let us know, Mo.
That's crazy, huh? That's crazy. What about you? Do you have any?
I'm actually concerned because I eat fruit every day.
Yeah.
He knows this. Like, if you see my Instagram, that's usually the first thing I have is like a bowl of fruit.
Man.
So I'm just like, no.
Damn.
I mean, yeah.
I'm probably sick.
Think of all the people that are juicing right now, because juicing has been helping with the and also with the COVID. You're supposed to be your immune system. So just make sure you guys check your food, check the website. This is just information that I got. So, you know, before you throw your oranges, lemons, and limes and potatoes away, because Mysterious Jack said it on Ladies Night, do the work and check and research for sure.
Get it from your neighbors, y'all. Find somebody with an orange tree and a lemon tree.
Definitely. And in last news, in Uber news, Uber CEO Dara announced Wednesday that the San Francisco-based company will likely shut down services in California temporarily if it's forced to classify its drivers as full-time employees. Yes. The announcement was made after a judge ordered Uber and Lyft to treat their California drivers as employees instead of independent contractors, which would guarantee them benefits such as sick leave, overtime, and expense reimbursement for workers who make up much of the community economy. But CEO Dara said, if the court doesn't reconsider, then in California, it's hard to believe that we'll be able to switch our model to full-time employment quickly. So I understand, and I actually think it's a good idea that Uber and Lyft do this, especially them putting themselves in risk and like driving so people. And a lot of people are still trying to be safe, and they put like a divider between them. But I don't know if you guys have seen videos. They've been attacked recently. Like I know there was like, right? Did you see that video?
People are out there
wilding.
They're tripping, but. People always wonder how rich people stay rich because they do cheap moves like that.
Yes.
To where it's some people who are dependent on driving Uber and Lyft, and the fact that you strip them away from a job because you don't want to pay them as full-time workers is kind of like shady,
Because already COVID-19 has affected so many people, right? Yeah. And so then that's how they're making income right now for their families to be able to eat and pay rent and all that stuff. So the fact that Uber, because they don't want to classify them as full-time employees, they're going to shut them down.
And that's a trend, like what you're talking about, those cheap moves, because essential workers are, the people who are doing Uber, who are working in the supermarkets, who are the least paid, we're like the bottom of the totem pole, and they just want to keep us there, and that's just not cool.
Because I think my Mexican mom, she does. Shout out Maria. I know she's not listening. I'm going to have to tell her to tune in. But, yeah, she drives Uber, and it's like, that's how, she grinds and makes it happen. So, it will suck to, like, damn, now she can't work because of that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of those services, like Postmates, DoorDash, everything, they've definitely been keeping people, like, I guess, afloat in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. Well, that's your today's Cheesemate of the week here on Ladies Night Radio. See, it doesn't say Escándalo, and that's why I need Maria back. Maria, I need you to come back. I need you to come back, Maria.
Can I just say, I'm sitting in the seat, and this is the first time I'm seeing this video, and this bitch looked like a dominatrix.
Which one?
Look at that shit.
That's
I fucking love it. Get it, bitch.
Yeah, I've never seen this video either, to be honest.
Hey, that was lit, though. I like it.
That's too funny.
I'm going to have to get that on my playlist before we do it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's topic, which is why everybody's tuning in. And of course, tonight's topic, it's definitely a really serious topic. It's one of our more serious shows that we're going to have, but I don't know, I was so nervous when I was doing this because I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to give out the wrong information. But I do feel a little bit more comfortable that I do have Jeanie here, whose actually whole podcast is going to be about things like this. So I can't wait for you to launch that. But I definitely want to be able to use my platform to bring awareness to stuff like this. So first, we're going to start off with our first topic, which is going to be teaching the importance of consent. Yes. And I know that whenever we talk about sex on here, we always talk about consent, even if we're like joking, like, but it's really important that we teach this. So, teaching consent is an important part of educating your child about sexual health. It's a fundamental concept that can be taught at any age, you guys. So if you have a 15-year-old and you've never had the sex talk, definitely start now, age of 9 and all of that. If it lets your child know that, their voice matters and that they have choices, they'll also learn to respect the choices of others as they understand the concept of consent.
Absolutely.
So I see you guys shaking your head, Jeanie. Like, what is it that, like, how do you give people advice, especially when they have little kids, of like, how old should they be when I start talking about these things?
Honestly, I feel like because of the way the sex education is brought upon the youth, I feel like it needs to be done earlier. When we have the sex talk, when we have the puberty talk with girls and boys, they separate us. They teach us to be ashamed of what's going on with each other's bodies, the way they function and what's going on. And I can promise you, half of the boys don't know what's going on with the girls' bodies. The girls don't know what's going on in the boys' bodies. Like, nobody knows what's happening.
Right.
But I feel like the problem with consent is you need to teach that young. That's a part of sex education. A boy should be able to know but the difference between yes and no at like the age of 10, 12.
Yes.
That's super important. And I feel like we wait and we almost let it go off for so long, and we wait till they're 16, 17 touching girls inappropriately, and they don't know because they've never been told that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not how you're supposed to handle the situation.
Yep. What about you, Lodi? I see you were shaking your head, and you have 2 little boys.
I have 2 little boys, yeah. Soon to be 12 and soon to be 6 going on 25. Shout out to little Thomas. But
25.
Yeah, he's a little savage. But I think consent starts like when you're really young. Mm-hmm. Just not even like the concept of consent, but I feel like it starts with respect. Like if you start from a really young age, like teaching humans how to treat humans, I think that consent will be like a natural and easy flow when you get into it, because they'll know those boundaries of like, you know what, this is another human being and I'm supposed to respect this person, even if I don't agree with them, you know, all of those things that come with respect. And then the consent talk just kind of like flows with it, you know. Excuse me. I when I watch things with my boys, I remember we watched an episode, I don't know what show it was, but it was like, they're like 13 and he's like, oh, I invited my girlfriend on a date for Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day. And it's this whole conversation of like, girls like that and girls want this and girls, and they're cracking up and I'm like, boys, let me tell you, like, this is a show. This is not real. This is, you know, so anytime real life circumstances come up, I'm always letting them know, like, sure, this sounds like funny, but listen, in real life, we respect women. We respect, you know, men. Like, and again, it kind of flows. And then, like, my son starts dropping knowledge on me, and I'm just like, damn, okay, I'm doing something right. Like, I didn't even think about that. So I think it starts, like, from the get. Just like the respect that you give another human being is where it starts.
What advice did he give you that surprised you?
Not advice, but like some of the shit that he says of like, Mom, I can't believe this person said that. Like, that was so rude and he's not respecting her and she's a woman and da-da-da.
You're doing a good job. That's what that means.
I mean, thank
he
you.
He really respects you, and that's, you know, that's you're teaching them to love a woman like that. And I just think that when it comes to teaching boys and girls, I think you have to start so much earlier now, especially now, because they get so much access to all of that stuff.
Yes.
To where, you know, growing up, you know, before all of this Twitter and Instagram and everything, you didn't have that. Like
Google.
We barely had computers.
Yeah.
So, you know, you couldn't go and find any of that stuff. But now it's so out there that maybe even at like 9 or 10, they need to sit down and, Jeanie, like you said, doing it together, because I can remember them separating us, where it's like, no, we need to know what women go through so they can know what we go through, so it can be a shared experience. So it's like, okay, I understand this person and what they're going through and why, you know, like consent is so important, because, man, it is 2020 and you can find anything on the internet. So it's just like teach these kids right away so that we can start to change this world.
Yeah. I want to show some love to everybody in the chat box. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Brunch with Besties. They said, hey, y'all, happy Friday. Excited for this episode. Momo's giving me some love. She said I'm getting better with the music. Thanks, Momo. And Kenny, he's talking about our Uber Chisme. He says Uber drivers in Santa Monica pressed about those Uber changes and Instacart people trying to stay above water. So, yeah, I mean, it's affecting a lot of people out there. So I really hope that the Uber CEO does the right thing and, you know, brings them what they, you know, those benefits. Everybody needs benefits.
Facts.
Shit is fucking hard out here.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
I think another really important component to the conversation is sexual abuse. When you start teaching people or kids about respect, respecting your body, respecting boundaries, that's something we really don't talk about. And that's so important, because when you have a situation where, you know, you may have predators in your own family, you know, your own aunts, your uncles, whatever. I mean, I remember growing up, we would go to parties and your parents would be like, yo, just go find the bedroom where all the kids are kicking it. And like, you didn't even know anybody. And you're just like kicking it with all these like random kids. Like, hey, what's up? But that piece is really important too. I think that's an important part of the conversation, because for people that do experience that, like, the mind of a person that does that is they psychologically like fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like they'll touch your arm and be like, ooh, I just had sex with you. And so if a kid doesn't know these things, they're like, oh, okay, they had sex. So when they start doing other things, you know, their boundaries are already like in a different place. So I think that's another aspect.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad you brought that up. So really quick, I want to say another thing, permission is important, right? So asking for and granting permission is important, especially when it comes to something like physical affection, like you were saying, even if it's just like a brush on the arm or even the head. This is the type of lesson that can be taught on a smaller scale, like being allowed to give permission to let someone borrow their toy, and expanded on that as they grow older. So that kind of goes back to the age appropriate, right? Like, obviously you're not going to like share too much information to a 4-year-old, but you're going to start showing them habits and learning, like asking for permission. Is this okay? Is that okay? And then letting them know that it's also okay that they can change their mind at any time, right?
But then I also feel like that's where parenting comes in.
Yes.
Because you could be a really great mom, like which you are, which is absolutely amazing to be involved and educate your children. But what about the parents that aren't around? So it's like the children, they depend on the education, and it's not even properly being dispersed amongst them. So it's like, how do, you know what I mean? Like, how do they really get to grasp that information?
So you're saying that they should come also from their teachers?
I feel like the education system has failed them. Absolutely. Yeah. Honestly.
Because when I think about it, like on a high school campus, I can remember I can remember in high school there being a like a little like a assembly, and it was talking about this everything when it came to sex and stuff. And we all were, how high school guys are. You chilling like, well, why are we in here? But it was something that you need to see and hear. But nowadays I don't think you have that on campuses in high schools and stuff, because I don't know if they try to shy away from it because it's like, oh, we don't want to touch that anymore,
Yeah.
But they're leaving these kids to just figure these things out, and they're learning the wrong types of ways. So like you said, Jeannie, like if they don't have parents at home teaching them, like I tell my brother all the time, like, I know it's going to be weird. You have 3 daughters, but man, you have to tell them as soon as you can, because you don't want them to not know and then go out into the world and have to deal with some of these creepy guys that do the nonsense.
Another thing that I also read is like you also have to lead by example, right? Yeah. So if you're saying something to your partner, to the person you're dating, your husband, or vice versa, your wife, your girlfriend, and you guys are playing around, the kids are watching you. Kids watch everything we do, right? So if you're saying, no, I don't want that, but then you still continue, like if somebody's tickling you, right, and you're like, don't stop, but they don't stop and they're still tickling you, child is watching you, and it's letting you know, like, okay, they said no, but I'm still going to keep tickling you because that's what dad did to mom. So at those things, like, those are little things that we have to also be aware of. Like, even though we're telling them ask for permission or make sure people like don't touch you, at the same time they're looking at you guys and like, mom said don't tickle me, but dad is still tickling her. And those are things that are like, even those little things, I know it's crazy,
those
but like
nuances, you brought, that was like the perfect point that you brought up, Jackie, that I wanted to touch on, because it's that whole piece of like when you get pressured, right? So it's like maybe you started dating somebody, one person wants to take it further along sexually than the other person, and they're just like, they keep like trying, and it's like, you want to, and it's like, well, of course you want to, because it fucking feels good. Like, who doesn't want to? It's gonna feel good. But I think particularly for women, we have to think about that a lot more, because the consequences that we have for our sexual history is still very different to men.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I came in so spicy with the Cardi B Meg Thee Stallion video, because I felt like, damn, have we really not advanced when it comes to this?
Yeah.
Because if somebody asks you, hey, how many dudes have you slept with? It's like, why do you want to know? Like, are you going to judge me as a human being based on the amount of people I've slept with? Yeah. And for a guy, that's like a non-issue.
It shows you that times have changed, because I remember things like that was kind of like real low key, where you like, people didn't really talk about that stuff. Mm-hmm. But now it's just people out there just easily throwing this information out. But that's part of the industry when it comes to Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Like, the industry wants to create little girls that come from the similar environments to be that, instead of showing an artist like Rhapsody, who's in like the form of like Queen Latifah, MC Light, where it's like strong women who don't have to do that, because then that's going to create more business women from these environments, and that's what the industry don't want.
Can I ask, can we touch a little bit? Can we unpack that a little bit?
Definitely.
Because I feel like I hear what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like at the same time, like, why is it not okay or empowering for women to say, like, I'm going to own my sexuality. This is what I like. This is what I want.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not saying that that's how you think, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there who really feel like it's like, oh, you're talentless, so you have to show your ass.
Oh, no.
And you know, that is something that's been, a lot of people are saying that and talking about, it's like, oh, we need warriors and we need this and we don't need you with your ass up. And it's like, these women are talented women who are, again, like, they're building their empires, and this is one part of them, is their sexuality.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I guess women's sexuality still makes people very uncomfortable. I think they still want to see that Madonna whore complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I feel there's nothing wrong, like, flaunt what you have, you know, and do it, and that's what it is. Guys do it. That's why guys take their shirts off and stuff like that. So for me, like,
is that why I thought y'all were just hot?
sometimes you gotta show out a little bit, but you know, like, it's the same thing. It's the same principle. So the video, I love the video. You know what I'm saying? Top 10 all time. But when it comes to the fact that they just keep promoting that aspect of it, I don't think that's good for little girls.
I understand what Michael's saying because I feel like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion are both strong, independent, sexy female, but I feel like there's so much more to them. I feel like Cardi B has been on her lives, and even though people say like she talks crazy, she actually talks a lot of like like real shit. Like,
makes sense.
She makes so much sense. So I feel like there's layers to her, but most of the part that she promotes is her sexual. Like, when it's in the media, when it's like on the mainstream, because when it's on her page, if you go visit her page, visit her Twitter, you're gonna see, damn, there's layers of Cardi B. For sure. But she doesn't really promote all those layers.
Yeah, because Meg is about to get her degree from Texas Southern, but you don't really hear about that.
No, but that actually is what put me on to Meg Thee Stallion. Because that's how I learned about it. I was like, there's this rapper who's in college still and is still attending her classes, but still also going to the Grammys, and like so that put me on Meg. So actually, that they do promote that part of it, but I just feel like there's more to like women, and I feel like I understand what Michael's saying. Like, I'm all for sexuality, like, you know, own it and stuff. But at the same time, when I first saw that video, the first thing what I tell you was like, I'm gonna have conversations with my 11 nieces who are right now all like teenagers and really. And they're strong women. They're already like strong young ladies because that's how we've raised them. But it's just like, okay, I'm going to go talk to them and ask them, hey, what do you guys think of this music video?
They're going to have questions.
And that's fine. And
why you need a bucket and a mop?
But even then when my goddaughter was like at different ages, and she would ask me certain questions because my goddaughter is one like curious person. I would be like, that's not appropriate for your age right now, but I will tell you this and that, right? So before we go on to really one more thing with the children, asking them for consent. So how do you guys feel as parents? Well, you're the only parent right now, but when you're going to touch your child or move into their personal space, practice asking them if it's okay. Like, may I hold your hand? Can I get a hug? Will you let me brush your hair? Or the small act can teach them, you know, that they have a say in who touches them and their bodies and how they are touched via hug, a kiss, and all of that. Because a lot of, in our cultures, we always like, say go to hug your tia, go hug your tío, go say hello, go say hi. There, you know, stuff like that. I don't know about the lap too much anymore. I know that's how it used to be sometimes, like just go sit with him, you know, like, but now it's like we're being more aware of it. But we still say go give your tia a hug. And so when I go visit my friends, like my best friend, and she has 2 girls and a little boy, and she's like, go hug your tia Jackie. I'm like, no, if they want to hug me, they can hug me. Like, I'm starting to get in that mentality too, like, and I'm like, you know, of course I want to hug my nieces, but I'm like, I always say, can I get a hug? And that's me as a tia, like asking my nieces and nephews. So when I see my friends' kids, I'm like, can I get a hug? If they say no, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't get mad. I'm like, oh, no, hug. Like, I don't get mad. I don't do that. I'll be like, okay, what about a fist pump? So I'll see what's okay with them. So as a parent, like, and also, Jeanie, jump in for sure if you have anything to say on that, because I know I can keep talking on that.
No, I just feel like that's been told to me too. Like, oh, everyone, like my mom and dad would make us hug every single person in the family and kiss them, and sometimes it was just kind of like, oh, like uncomfortable. You're
and
like,
some
why
people
do you
gave you
to?
A weird, creepy vibe,
right? And it's like, and you know they're in your family, and you know that you
want to be polite
feel that way, but something about it, your body's telling you, like, you kind of want to. Like, ease up, maybe one arm, one shoulder, one grab, and you're kind of cool with it.
Right.
But I think when it comes to that, it's just, like, little things for me, it talks, like, when I think about how parents are, if they, like, what they're forcing you to do. And I mean, are they respecting your boundaries? Are they respecting what you ask of them? Do they see you as a child always, or do they see you as an adult growing up that they want to learn lessons from and actually evolve? Like, something as simple as knocking on the door before you barge in. like I saw a video, and I think it was on TikTok, and they were talking about how parents shouldn't walk in and knock in on the door. Just knocking and then coming in, or just barging in.
Right.
And I think little things like that is teaching you
Yes.
as you grow up, like what's okay, what's not. Why are you crossing that boundary for me if you're forcing me to feel one way or another?
Right. Right. What were you going to say,
I agree
Loden?
with that. That's really good. I feel like that's something I definitely need to work on. I've never been the type to say, like, go hug them or go hug that. Or I do say, oh, go hug your Theo. But I let them do it the way that they want. So if they do like a little side hug, or if they like put their hand up, like high five, like I'm cool. Like I'm cool with that part.
Right.
But there's also a difference between like I just got to the party and I want to go run and play with my friends, like peace out, ain't gonna say hi to anybody.
Right.
And like respecting their boundaries.
Yeah.
I definitely need to work on that, because I'm always like, damn, why are you in my room? This is my room. But I'm always all up in their room whenever I want, you know.
True.
So that was a good point. I appreciate that. I'm gonna work on that.
And I mean, these are things that, you know, we're just talking from experience and how we felt. Because I know when I would hug certain family members, I would get a weird vibe.
Yeah.
So, like, now, like, I want people to, like, little ones to know, like, you have a say on who you get to hug.
Facts.
And if it's just a handshake, if it's a fist pump, teach them that. Like, you don't have to hug. You can give a high five. You can give a fist pump. However you want to say hi. Or if it's just going over there and acknowledging them. Hi, Theo so-and-so. Hi, Thea so-and-so. Maybe there's not even have to be any touching involved at all.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the comment I made last time when we were talking about spanking, about so many times we parent based on the backlash we're going to get from other people. How are people going to be like, damn, you have some rude-ass kids. They don't say hi. They don't hug nobody. You know, but if you really start parenting from the perspective of like, hey, they're their own divine little beings with their own, like, intuition, right?
Because I can say that because my nieces, they hug no one. Like, they do not rock with anybody. We always come around the family, and it's like, it's got to the point to where we don't even say nothing. We just say, wave and say hi to everyone, because they will not come up and hug anyone. Like, they just like... And if you do try to hug them, they give you that, like, don't touch me. So they're so bougie, but I love them.
But yeah, they're bougie, but it's okay. At the end of the day, it's because they know that they have a right and they can speak up and they can say no if they want to. So we shouldn't make little children feel guilty for not feeling comfortable to hug or to show love. You know, allow them to be their own persons too.
Exactly.
At the same time, showing respect to your elders, acknowledging the people that, you know, when you come into an event, for sure. That's definitely something we got to teach them. And then also, one thing we got to teach really quick too is also, like, it's okay to change your mind in the middle of it, right? So if you guys are in the middle, it's getting, if you're making out, like, this is obviously not kids, but moving forward to like teenagers or adults or young adults or even adults right now at, you know, at our age, if you're in the middle of kissing and then it's getting hot and heavy and, you know, let's say you guys are both butt naked and then you decide, I don't want to do this.
This just don't feel right.
We have to be able to teach both parties that it's okay to say no, and it's also okay to, even though it might be frustrating, sexually frustrating for the men and women, we have to be okay with that, and we have to respect each other's boundaries.
And I think that's where the double standard comes in, because if a woman does it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, you know, she said no at the last minute. But
she changed her mind.
If a guy does it, then a lot of guys are going to be looked at as, oh, what you a punk? You scared or something like that. So there's kind of a double standard within that as well, and that's why sometimes it can be guys who are in a situation to where they probably really like, I really don't want to do this, but because of that whole stereotype or that double standard, that guys kind of just like, damn, I got to, you know.
Damn, I would never would have thought that, like, dudes thought like that.
No,
I appreciate this.
No, yes, it's so real, and it's crazy.
Jeannie, what were you gonna say?
See, well, one, I was gonna say, it should, like, even if the condom's just put on, you should still be able to say no.
Yes.
Like, I don't care how far you go, you should still be able to say no.
Yep.
But in regards to what Michael just said, I was thinking that because he was saying, oh, it's the stereotype, the bias, the prejudice. But also think about who you're laying down with then, right?
Yes.
Because why would you want to lay down with somebody who's gonna think like that?
Right.
Like, I wouldn't want to sleep with a guy that has that thinking in the back of their mind. Like, I want to make sure that whoever I'm with, I mean, I know that is upon, like, general, but
Yeah.
Maybe personally, just for me, I would want to be more aware.
And
But I
that's
also
what-
want to say this really quick, Jeanie,
communication
for
is key.
people who
Absolutely.
have had like one night stands or it's a
Yes.
drunken night, and you didn't get to know the person that well at the bar, at the party, or the frat party or the college party. There's no judgment because sometimes it's okay. Like, I get it. Sometimes one nights happen. So if at any point and you realize, damn, this is who this person is, like, nah, I'm not doing this. Like,
Right, exactly.
go ahead and put your clothes back on, girl, sis.
I'm out.
And that's why
I'm out.
I'm out.
communication is so key, because you need to know beforehand, like, the boundaries and so forth going forward, because you have to communicate. Hey, we about to go up in this crib, you go into my room, and so that's what communication is key.
But
because,
Michael, even if they're in your room, even if she's butt naked and
Yes.
she says, I don't think I want to do this anymore, you
But
have to
the-
respect and
You
understand.
No,
said
of
she
course,
right
yeah.
in the dick, and
Even
she's
if
like,
it's
nah,
one stroke,
And she
in,
stopped.
if it's one stroke,
One
in,
stroke in,
she's
you're like, no,
out.
no, I don't want to do this anymore.
She's out. That's it.
That's it.
then that's you playing games.
Oh.
No, that's
You
consent.
No, I know.
That's what
but-
consent is.
yeah.
That's what we're trying to teach the young boys, the boys,
No,
the
yeah.
men.
But if it goes to the stroking beginning, it's going to happen. Like, it's
You
know
don't
what I'm
know
saying?
that, but you don't. You can't.
But
But
that's
hey,
the
I
thing.
guess
Like, if they say,
in mid, yeah. Okay.
yeah, and you're just like,
I
you know
get it.
what?
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
like, this don't feel right. I'm about to hop off.
No,
Like,
yeah, because you
know.
never know. Yeah, I feel it.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
what we want to teach,
Mm.
young teenagers, especially you work with high school students.
Yeah,
if,
yeah.
if a boy came up to you and asked you this question, like, man, she was naked, and
Yeah.
then she just changed her mind.
No is no, and that's what you have to teach.
That's what we
the-
got to teach
the
them.
guys and girls, that no is no. No matter, like you guys say, no matter how far along it is, no is no.
Right.
You know.
Yes, definitely.
Be
It goes
okay
for
saying
women,
no,
too.
and respect saying yes.
Yeah.
Like, be more confident saying
Oh,
yes.
can
Yes.
you repeat that?
So, dang it. What,
That
did,
was
I, wait, what did I just say?
Because that was like inspiration.
like-
I
Wait,
felt like
no.
when you
You
Be
said
said
respect
okay
saying
saying
yes.
no. and
yeah,
respect saying yes.
be okay saying no, but be confident saying yes.
Yes.
So, like, be comfortable saying no, like, and own it. Like, no, I'm not okay with this. I don't want to do this.
Right.
And feel okay.
Definitely.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Well, we're
No,
going to
it's
go ahead and
good.
move on into our next topic. That was great, guys. I really love that we are
That was
able
so
to have
fast.
these. I know. I have to go on to the next one. I know we can talk about consent, and we can, because I can see where this is going, and I want to talk more with Michael, but we can do a part 2. That's okay.
we
That's,
definitely need to, because we didn't even get
Really?
we didn't even get the
we
tip
just,
in.
yeah, we just
I
got the
love
condom
it.
on.
I love
When you
it.
get the tip in, you're getting it started. So
Oh, shit. All right. Well, now we got to go ahead and talk our next topic, which is, many forms of abuse with the partner. So dating abuse is a pattern of behaviors one person uses to gain and maintain power and control over their partner. Many people assume abuse means that physical violence is happening, but that's not always the case. Abuse comes in many forms. It's not just physical. We have physical abuse, we have emotional, verbal abuse, we have sexual abuse, financial abuse, digital abuse, and stalking. So all of those are all different types of forms of abuse. So did you want to say something on that, Jeanie?
And what's crazy is it doesn't even stop there. There's gaslighting, there's manipulation, sexual abuse. Like, there's just so many ways that little things can come at you. Trauma bonds. There's like an addiction to trauma, but it could be something that happens through your childhood.
Right.
So when it comes to abuse, I want people to get over the stigma that it's only physical. If you're not getting hit, then it's not abuse.
Right.
Because I was actually told that if
Wait.
you're not getting hit, then it's not abuse. And
By-
I was like,
By your partner?
by
Somebody you were dating?
the abuser's parent. I came to the parent for help, and their response to me was, as long as you're not being hit, it's okay.
What?
Mm-hmm. But
That's
I mean, either way,
insane.
they had no idea what was going on behind closed doors.
Right.
They didn't know that part, but what I had told them, that was it. So I just want people to understand that there is so much more to abuse, and it messes with your brain, the way you function, the way you go on through your life, and it's just, everyone needs to know. It's just something that really needs to be talked about.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think that many people don't even understand that they're in an abusive relationship because
Facts.
they're not getting hurt. There's not any physical harm being done on their bodies, on themselves. So people won't believe them. So they're like, who am I going to go to? you know, like, even if they feel that this isn't right, something's not good, like this relationship is not okay, they're not going to go to anybody because they feel like nobody's going to believe them because they have no physical beatings on them or like any marks or anything to show that they're in a, you know, a physical relation. I mean, an abusive relationship.
Right.
And people don't even realize that, of course, the physical abuse is terrible. You know, physical abuse is very terrible. But a lot of times you're going to heal, your body heals and things like that. But it's like when you mentally break someone down, like you can put them in such a hole, like depression or something like that, to where they never get out of it. So that's why I think that is big, that is talked about, because it's like, man, like you don't want to, like you want to make sure that you know what you're doing. You know, when you talk to anyone, I can even look at not even like relationships, me coaching basketball for a few years, that coaches do it. Like they'll break down a player, yelling at him, cussing at him, to where like they don't even realize they're abusing that kid, you know, because you're killing their confidence mentally, and that can carry so many ways. And that's why I think it's key to know more than just the physical abuse that can happen.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of the MO, is that how you say it? Or that's kind of like what somebody who physically abuses you does. Like, first they tear you down emotionally and mentally. They start removing you from your family, from all of the positive people in your life. They start isolating you, so they have that like mind control, emotional control over you.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry does a good job of making films that
yes.
hits on these different types of abuses.
You know what? I definitely want to commend Tyler Perry on that, because you're right. He started off with just plays, and now he's like has.
But even his plays, like I always tell people, the plays are way better than the actual movies.
Yeah,
it was more real and raw, and a lot of them was about that. Somebody's getting physically abused, or somebody's being taken away from their family. Like, and he touched on a lot of that, and some people overlook it in films because they go straight to the funny parts of it, or the more in-depth stuff. But it's stuff that people need to really look at and learn, because like you guys are saying, like, you don't know if you're a part of it. And then I think sometimes some people don't even realize that they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's how they were taught.
Yeah, that's how they
know what love is.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes, like, you're right, that they don't even understand what they're doing, and it's abusive.
Yeah.
So, what were you going to say, Lore?
We have Brunch with Besties. Hey,
hi, Brunch with
in
Besties.
the chat box, and they're saying whatever kids learn first will be the truth for them. So, like y'all said, we have to teach kids about sex first.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Yeah, definitely. I think there was one more too.
We have the High Priestess commenting, little girls shouldn't be listening to that. I'm sure she's talking about
WAP.
That wet ass pussy. She also said that's where the parents should come in. She also says in the song, "Pay my tuition."
Yeah. But how can you,
wrong with that.
in today's day and time, how can you keep them from that? See, like growing up, we had CD players, so you had to go and buy the CD. Your parent wasn't buying the CD.
You're
now,
so young. I had tapes.
That part. Yeah, I don't remember that. But nowadays, it's like you can get everything anywhere. Like if you have a phone, and most kids have a phone because, Mom, I have to call you after school. How do you know where to pick me up?
Right.
On there, they're going to have YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can find WAP.
Yeah, that's so true.
So that's why you have to talk about it, so that they can know, hey, this is out there. You can't shy away. Just like you say, you're going to talk to your nieces.
Yeah.
You can't shy away from it, especially these days. You have to attack it right away and say, hey, this just came out. They talking about this, and that, and, keep it real.
You have touched on this so many times today by saying communication is key. That is so important.
Facts.
Open communication with your kids. Don't shy away from these things, because if they don't learn from you, they're going to learn from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you're getting in there and that you're teaching these things: respect, consent, boundaries. Boundaries is huge, so communication for sure.
Because, some people, parents don't tell them anything about, like my parents didn't tell me anything about like dating or sex. So you just kind of find out on your own. So you get yourself caught up in a lot of things.
That's
and then just for anybody who's tuning in, for anyone affected by abuse and needing support, make sure you guys call 1-800-799-7233. Or if you're unable to speak safely, you can log on to the hotline.org or text LOVE IS, which is LOVEIS, to 22522. So there's a lot of places that you can ask for help. And I don't know if you guys know, like, I don't know, I've never tried it obviously, but like there is like a code word if you call the police and you order a pizza.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a way to tell them that you are in danger. You're in a domestic violence situation. So, if you feel like unsafe, like calling, a hotline or going, if they're checking your phone, your internet, all of that, if you don't feel safe, you can call 911 and order a pizza, and they will show up to your house because they'll know that it's a domestic violence, going on at your residence.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Because I know at some restaurants and bars, they'll have, like, if you order a certain drink or cocktail or food plate, that means that I'm not safe. Something's going on. Please call the cops or walk me out to my car.
Yeah, I've seen that too. A lot of them in the girls' bathrooms.
Yes.
They have like a whole list of things like that.
They don't got that in the guys' bathroom. They gotta work on that.
They should, huh?
Yeah,
Listen,
they should.
such
Maybe
a
we want to get away. Like,
fucking
damn,
point.
this girl is
Psycho
pain in
or
the
crazy.
ass, and
Or
I need to get out of here. Can I order the macaroni drink? Okay, it's time to get you out of here.
Macaroni pot. You all live in the song. You all live in the song. But that's an amazing point, because we put so much of the responsibility when we talk about this. We talk about the males being the aggressors or the abusers, and it's not always that way. It goes both ways.
Sometimes, women may not see it, but when you're talking to a guy and you may talk down upon them, and that's why you ain't this, you ain't that. Like, you're abusing that person. Like, you're attacking them mentally to where, like, they may really leave and be like, damn, my girl is right. I'm not nothing. I'm this, like that. And
you ain't shit. I hate that.
Yeah.
Thing.
And it's like, it sucks. And you will hope that, and that with males, you're taught to be strong. So something said like that, you just walk away like it's nothing. But for a lot of people, they're not that strong. So they hear things like that from their woman. It affects them. And,
I mean, these are two great topics that that I'm so happy that we had on today's show. And I just feel like, dang, we didn't have enough time. I think that I'm going to have to do a part 2 to these topics, for sure. I feel like we didn't even get to really go into too much of different forms of abuse with the partner. But we did, let you guys know, there's just more than just physical. So yeah, I'm going to have to do a part 2 on this, but we're running out of time. I definitely have to go on to our next segment. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Ride the Vibe with Goddess Lore.
Hey y'all, you ready to ride the vibe with me today?
Okay.
Yes. Listen, today we're going deep, y'all. With the Hermit card. Now, you know what to do. If you need that visual, go to my Instagram at Lotus Hustle. So let's go soul searching tonight, guys. This weekend, I'm going to invite you to ride the vibe of solitude. I want to ask you all, when was the last time that you spent time by yourself? Those of you all up in the studio, Jax, Cristine,
today.
Mikhail, when was the last time you spent time by yourself? Today. What about y'all?
This morning, I did yoga.
Yeah, I use exercise to just get away from the world and run and do that type of stuff.
That's good. But I'm also talking about time like by yourself, like intentional time. Y'all had really good examples. Yoga, working out, I like that. But most of the time, a lot of us don't make that effort, right? To have time, intentional time carved out. So this is what I'm inviting you to do this weekend. Carve out some time to be by yourself, literally alone. And I'm going to ask you to take off all your hats. Get out of all of your roles. Like, in the moment that you're with you, you're not a son, a daughter, a friend, tío, tía. You're not a mom, you're not a dad. This is just you. I'm going to let that sink in.
Yeah, that's dope.
Just you. You as a human. It's just your soul, your divinity. So what's left when you strip away all your roles and your titles away? Like, do you even recognize yourself? Do you only see who you are in your roles and the role that you play in other people's lives? I'm inviting you to explore this concept. Is it easy for you to get in touch with your divinity, or is it more challenging? I'm going to ask you to get in touch with your soul this weekend. You need to share your divinity with the world because we're waiting on you. So I'm going to ask you to take some time, meditate, journal, get into nature, work out, yoga. Find yourself and get into your heart space. What's your inner voice telling you? Because your inner voice is always talking to you. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what do I see? Do I see me? Or do I see I'm a mom, I'm a daughter? Really take a look. What do you see? Strip all of those things away. get in touch with yourself. And hey, I wouldn't be a goddess if I didn't encourage you to intention your masturbation and your orgasm, guys.
Hey.
Remember, your sexuality is a portal to your divinity. So get your grooves and get your life right. This was Goddess Lore asking you, what vibe do you want to ride?
Hey, okay.
It was deep today.
Hey,
It was very
Felt
deep.
very a little
What are
somber
candles?
right here.
You supposed to have candles in your wine glass. That was the mood I got.
Crystals.
Yeah, I like that.
I
That's
know.
what's up. We do that too.
Definitely. All right. Well, it wouldn't be. You know what? We're actually kind of running low on time, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick segment, a time to go ahead and let me know something you want to give cheers to. This is where you share something that you're proud of. You want to give yourself some love. We're going to go around the room. We'll start with you, Lore. What do you want to give some cheers to?
My son, Joaquin, 11, he wrote a play with LA Muse Art, and it's going to be shown tomorrow on LA Muse Art YouTube. So I'm super proud, and I want to give him a shout-out. Proud mommy moment.
Hey, nice.
The Smelly and the Fabrizi is the name of this play.
What about you, Jeanie?
I would want to shout out my best friend, who is also my big from my sorority. She just became officially a 5th grade teacher.
Hey, that's what's up.
Cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. And what about you, Michael?
Man, pretty deep. Man, just major shout out. I don't know what happened. I got to get more of the details, but one of my former students, who was also like my stat girl for my basketball team, she was missing. She was they would say she was kidnapped at 190th and Crenshaw to Walmart, and
What?
she actually she's at home now. So
Wow.
from the update that I got, so happy that she's safe. So that's
Yeah.
big time.
Was she kidnapped or she just ran away?
I don't know. They said there's video of her being kidnapped and stuff like that. So I don't know what happened. I have to learn more about everything. But yeah.
That's crazy.
That's awful.
Well, I'm glad that she's safe at home.
Yep.
That's always good.
Mhm.
But I just want to thank everybody for joining me today. Michael for being my guest co-host today. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Hey.
I know Maria's going to be happy that you were here, but sad that she missed you.
Yeah, I miss her.
And Goddess Lore, thank you again for all the love and the vibes that you share with us. Goddess Lore, I appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all.
And
Love
of
you.
course, I appreciate you, Jeanie, for coming through and, joining us on today's important conversation.
Thank you for having me. It
Of
was
course.
a pleasure being here.
If you guys want to plug yourself, where can people find you, Jeanie?
At Jeanie Cristine, JeanieCristine at Instagram.
Yes, and look out for her new podcast coming out,
Yes.
Karma's Calling Podcast. I love that title, by the way.
Thank you. I love it too.
Karma's calling and it said, you a bitch.
And I cannot wait. Make sure you send me the information, and we'll definitely plug you out there on Ladies Night.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Of course. Mr. Michael the PG from Courtside Radio. Where can people find you?
Hey, if you don't know who I am by now, every video I'm telling you who I am. So if you don't know now, you're probably just a hater. So stay away from me. But Michael the PG, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Michael Matthew, Mathieu is the last name. I'm grinding, so that's all I do.
Appreciate
Hey,
you.
if you don't
Yep.
have haters, you're not doing it right.
No, I know
That's
that.
what they say.
I just had to let them know, just in case they listen.
That's right. And where can they find you,
The
Goddess
young
Lore?
Wilbon over here. Y'all can find me at Lotus Hustle. Follow me, guys. I put up some pretty dope stuff. If you're interested in #AnalAugust, I got you. Check out my story. I also do energy readings and tarot readings. I'm going to have a special reading coming up for the new moon intentions. Y'all book with me, and I'm going to hook you up with a candle infused from Lionsgate
Yes.
energy. So
Definitely.
hit me up at Lotus Hustle.
And we're going to starting September, we're going to do like a VIP package kind of thing where you can call in and get your tarot cards read on air. So you can ask one
Do it.
question
Yes.
by Goddess Lore. So make sure you guys stay tuned with that.
For $4.99? No. I'm joking.
For more information, make sure you guys. Well, we might be.
Wait, is it
Man,
only
fact.
fans or fans only?
OnlyFans.
Coming OnlyFans, guys.
Hey,
ladies' night
do
is
it.
happening.
Do it.
Anyway,
I'm telling you.
if you guys want more information, want to know how to stay in touch with us, make sure you follow us at Ladies Night Radio Show, and also follow the network, the Good News Radio. So thank you again for everybody who tuned in, who's in the chat box, and we appreciate you. All love. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. Please share us with your friends and your family. I'm your host, Mysterious Jax. This is Ladies Night Radio Show, and just remember one thing, ladies. You are enough. Love y'all. Stay safe. And that's a wrap. Ooh, baby. Great show, y'all. It's hot.
Yo, I feel like
and that's with the AC on. It's okay. It's okay.